Welcome everyone. Um, Today we're gonna talk about stock markets, right? And how we are our own worst enemies. Okay, that's the goal of today topic. We'll have fun. There's a wonderful song by Kedia ji. We'll see it through the program. It's called "आँखों को खोलो भैया, थोड़ा तो समझो भैया." Okay, hopefully you'll see this. Uh, Rahul, I hope you understand Hindi.
Yes, I do understand.
Cool. So I also run sscdiver.com, which is like a US-based stock market research platform, right? Worked at Twitter, Amazon. Today is a very short presentation. So again, ask me a lot of questions. Most of the stuff is all is like copied from the web in some mechanism, but I'm just trying to think it from more from principal's perspective, right? What we can do. So ask a lot of questions. We all are learning, okay? Uh, and and don't worry, okay? Just it's okay. All questions are wonderful. So this is how sscdiver.com looks like today. If any of this resonates with you, let me know. Ping me separately, right? We have data for 2022, and the reason we have it so that we can predict the market 1 year old, and that way we can see what's happening in the future. Okay, so that's the idea behind the data. We can add more stocks as needed. Let me know if you want to, but I keep it to minimum so that um, I can manage my cost of running the service. Okay. Hopefully I can charge you guys and you'll pay me money. We'll see. And that will help me, I guess, run down the website more better. Um, this is how the front page looks like. We show fair value estimates for a company. We show what would be the median value that you should think about. We show the range, we show the targets, we show if you had bought the stock 9 years back, how much you would have today, right? How much you missed because you didn't invest in the stocks, right? And we have how do we generate. So there, if you click it, we'll tell you what is a mechanism and what factors we looked to create that fair value estimate. Okay, so I will highly recommend checking that out, understanding it better, right? Again, Estever is mostly focused on cash flows. It doesn't look at other property. It waits on other properties, but I believe cash flows are the right indicator. So I just focus on cash flows more. But there are companies where you have to look at net income also, operating income also. So every company is different. So take that with a grain of salt, right? I am not a financial advisor. Whatever we talk today is not advice. So please do your due diligence, right? All the examples that we talked today hopefully uh, are just an example to showcase things. They're not an idea to buy and sell. Okay, so take your decision, do your due diligence. So I hope everyone can hear this. But this is a wonderful song. I want you to hear it, and probably we'll have some questions behind. I have some questions for you. Okay, and let me know if you can't hear the music.
किसी को भी तो ना समझ में तो आए, किसी को भी तो ना समझ में तो आए, तो बढ़ता क्यों गिर जाए, ये लंबे क्यों पैसे कमाए, जब सोचा समझा तो समझ में ये आए, जो लेके गए बैठ वही तो है कमाए, जो लंबी तो बैठ न पाए। आंखों को खोलो भैया, थोड़ा तो समझो भैया, वरना तो डूबेगी ही देखो तुम्हारी नैया। आंखों को खोलो भैया, थोड़ा तो समझो भैया, वरना तो डूबेगी ही देखो तुम्हारी नैया।
And the reason I'm sharing this is like in this small song, and there are multiple hit sings, he has captured what we miss as investors, what we don't do. I don't know if anyone had any observations to share. I'm happy to pass it to Arvind ji or Rahul ji. Feel free to uh, share if you understand that and if something you got from this video.
Is he really referring to the stock market?
Yes, it is about stock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had a giggle of laughs. So that's good. I could see Arvind ji smiling. What about you, Rahul? Why don't you come on? Why don't you come on the screen, Rahul, so we can see you smiling?
Sure. Yeah, it was
Part of the-
pretty well composed actually. Spot on. Yeah.
I think he was spot on our behavior, right? We buy stocks,
Mhm.
we want to make quick bucks, and we just run out, or we just curse the market. We do something, but we never sit. And the money is in the
Right.
sitting, and the real money is in the sitting. Okay, and again, that's what I've been telling. It's all the compounding magic that you learn. That's what I'm looking for, right? I've seen that with Amazon, and that has inspired me to do everything, right? Um, there are countless such examples. So today I'm gonna invite you. We don't have 5 more folks joining, but does any one of you have any experience in terms of compounding that you've seen in your life, in your career, or in your childhood from your grandfathers? Do you want to share that by any chance? If you had anything?
I don't think my dad never invested in stocks, and even if he did a little bit, he never.
It need not be Arvind stocks. It could be anything, right? Compounding doesn't mean it has to be
Yeah, yeah.
stocks. It's just like certain things you've seen that are giving those fruits now, but the seeds were sown long time back, right?
Yes, that I so, and now I keep telling my dad why he didn't do certain things and why he did do certain things. So I'll just give you one example. He he was a very hardworking person. He is, and money didn't come easy to him. He had to really work hard. So whatever little he could save from his business, then he started buying, like, back. So I'm from Delhi, and back then I'm talking about in 80s. You could buy those small land pieces. So anytime he would buy the first one he bought, and then as soon as he made like 5,000 or 10,000 rupees on it, he would sell it. And then he would buy something else. And then he kept on selling. So the area where, then finally he bought a piece of land, and then we built, uh, he built um, his house. That time he realized that, okay, that was really far out in some suburbs, and there was nothing there. And then eventually over the years, more and more people started inhabiting that area. So then there he bought one property. As soon as it would increase by 20,000, he'll sell it.
Right.
And today he tells me that, see, that plot was mine. If I had kept it, I would have made so much more money. But he only did the increment of 20,000, 30,000 rupees, but he never held anything.
What a wonderful example. Thank you. Thanks, Arvind,
So,
for back to your memories and sharing such wonderful stories. Yeah, I think we all can relate to that, I'm pretty sure. Rahulji, anything you want to like to add?
I think coming to my parents' investments, most of them were pretty similar, but they held on to the assets and it grew over time. But there are also few assets which didn't appreciate as much. So we thought, like tier two cities like Mysore, for example, we thought it will grow over time, and we thought the money would be like probably quadrupled in 10 years. That was the expectation. But then it only doubled in 10 years. So it's still not that bad, but yeah, I think most of the time we just held on to the assets. We didn't exit any quickly, but there are a few dead assets that parents are still holding, and which I'm trying to push and like get out of it. Yeah.
Pardon me for the interruption.
Mm-hmm. No worries.
I have some process running, and so that just took over. Now you see all my codes, so that's good. Okay, so I think I would just want to add, right? We are the compounding of our parents. Our parents are the compounding of our grandfathers, right? So I think what we are, the genes that have been passed by our forefathers, we are a prime example of that. I'm not sure if you folks realize that, but I am grateful to that every single day, because had they not worked hard, had they not survived, had they not run against the lions and tigers, I would not be here, right? So they learned those skills with time, and we are just lucky to uh, probably get the fruits of their labor. So every day I would say be grateful to them if you can, wish them, pray for them. That's what I'll suggest. And I think in this video, as I said, like he's just talking about sitting, having fun, and spending that wonderful time with family versus worrying about those ₹1 or $1 or $5 gains. And it will come. Money will come. The lower the expectation, the better the fun. The higher the expectation, the more the crying. That's what my journey has been. Uh, so this is one of the reasons I feel like we are our own worst enemies. Like, anyone have gone through this phase where,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
I have missed this boat. I should have bought this. Come on, it's increasing. Let me do something. So let's buy it. Okay, so I might buy it. Okay, I bought it. Now what should I do? Okay. Oh man, it started dropping. Come on, I should. Why did I buy it now? It's dropping. Let me wait. It will go. It will go up some. It will go some. Let. So it goes up a little bit. Okay. So I think it did good. Again, it falls, and it keeps going down. Keeps going down. Now you're like given hope. I think it's not gonna go, and we just give all the hope, and then we sell the stock, and then after that again rises. And did you folks see this? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's where, as the investors, we need to do the reverse, right? And I don't know if you saw the second session, right, where we talked about being a contrarian, and that's where it is. But you need to be a humble contrarian. You cannot boast that market is correct. Market is sometimes correct, so you have to be careful. Maybe in one of our later presentations, you'll see why you need to be humble, and how market can teach you a lesson. So as Rahulji was alluding, right, his grandfathers or forefathers had bought this Mysore land, and they expected quadruple returns, but over the 10 years, they're still seeing double. So there are situations where market will test you, but sometimes those returns can just come in 1 month. You never know, right? Um, does that make sense? Does that?
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
another. This is another one, right? We all look for forecasts. We all just look for forecast, and we try to predict what's going to happen. And so, what this slide says is like, even the experts, they are wrong 65% of the time. Maybe the percentages are not here, but they're wrong 65% of the times. I'm reading some books, and there's a lot of evidences where even the experts are wrong. Even like our chief officer cannot predict, like Jerome Powell, I believe, right? The head of the Fed who controls the interest rate, right? He can't predict the inflation, right? So no one can predict it, right? So I would this is another area where we go with the forecast and we just end up buying that stock, and then we see problems, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, we don't have a lot of people here, but let's check our poll results from yesterday. Okay, we are Arvindji, it's you and me right now.
Yeah.
So,
It's okay.
so it seems like when I asked folks for the first part, where if you had $1,000, how much you would expect, four people voted for $1 million, right? That's a pretty small number, right? Some people had low expectations. They said 5,000, right? Like one, right? But a good amount of people were in 100,000, 200,000, 50,000, $1 million range, right? But when I asked
Right.
people like, okay, based on their previous history, how much that $1,000 would have invested, right? So it seems like we have 3 superstars in our group, at least 4 superstars, I would say. 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million. We should find those folks. I mean, I think these are investment gurus. We should find them, and hopefully we can learn from them. I think they are made bigger in the previous 30 years of their life. So I would love to get in touch with them. And Arvindji, you also, if you see them, please ask them. And we should probably have them volunteer for some of the sessions here.
How do we find out? Like it was
I-
anonymous.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll probably again re-ask. I would love for you to ask that question to the people in the group. I'll send this poll there, and hopefully,
Okay.
right? But I think earning $1 million is a super fit. Maybe Warren Buffett did it. I don't think I'm Warren Buffett. I'm pretty sure I can do 10,000 or 30,000. That's what my limit is. But we'll see. Okay. So, but what I'm trying to say is we over-index. We over-index on expectations, and we don't see what the reality is, right?
Right.
So here is like a compounding thing, right? If you had compounded at 10%, right, in 30 years, you would have made 18 times. That is, your 1,000 rupees would have become 18,000, right?
Yes.
So I think those folks are saying they would do 1,000 times. So they are in the 20 to 25% range, about 20%, 25%. So means they can compound for 25 years. And if I see the track record for last 30 years, only 2 investors have made 25% in the world. So, I mean, there's Rakesh Jalwala, by the way. So there are 4 investors. Yeah. So there are some investors. So maybe we have a special clan here. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I don't know if you see this, but average investor like us, we have made only 3.6%. Even though the index says 9%, if you look at the overall cash, all the cash that we have, right? And if we keep measuring it at the end of 20 years, we only made 3.6%. So let's say you had 100K, but you only put 10K in the stock market. You doubled it. So it became 20K. But overall, your cash was 200K. So you didn't put your 20K, right? So it's on that. So overall, as average investors, we don't make anything. We just make 3.6%. Right. So that's the thing that I want to call out, right? Even though we feel we have made wonderful 2x returns, but we are not beating the market because all the cash is still sitting on the idle lines. Okay, it's not earning. Okay.
But the thing is, the question again is, they always say you can't put everything in stock market. So you have to keep, like, don't put all your eggs in the same basket.
Exactly. So these are the returns from all the other kind of assets that you're seeing in the past,
Oh,
right? It's
okay.
REITs versus EM equity, S&P 500, small cap,
Okay.
high cap, 60-40, like bonds versus that. There are all these kinds of even cash, right? So it's there. And I think maybe I think I probably said something wrong, I believe. So it could also mean, this graph also could mean that people, even though they could have gotten 9%, but because they came back and went out of the market, they
Mhm.
could not time it, hence their overall return was 3.6%. That could also
Oh.
be summary from here, I believe, right? So in both the cases, we didn't do good. I feel
Right.
if you have 100K cash, and even though you don't need that money, if you put, still you're losing because you're getting 1.2% only. Does it make sense?
Yes.
As I told you last time, we have to look for business, and business will always grow up if it's a good business, obviously, right? And it's
Mhm.
stock market is like a dog. It will show a value up and down, and we don't have to worry about it, right? As long as the business is growing, right?
Right.
Again, this is my philosophy. The first philosophy is not to lose money. Doesn't matter what happens. So cash is perfectly fine. Cash is perfectly fine. There are certain times, like this times, last 2 years has been the best time for cash, by the way. It's 5% return. So it's actually a wonderful time, right? So, and you could put in the market at the right time also, right? So that's the first principle. I want to buy only quality companies which can have a life of 10 years. At least I know for sure they'll be there for it. Yeah. And you want them to be growing. You don't want to buy any company that, if the company is not growing, you won't make money. So company has to be growing, right? And the
Right.
most important thing is do not pray, which we'll cover probably in one of our next slides, next presentation sometime, right? And then we have to make a process. Everything has to be a checklist. Like we work, we have a checklist, we have a process. We need to make a checklist out of it, right? And that's what matters. Okay. Again, do not lose money. Again, remember, it's no ifs. Just make sure the right thing. Go with the facts. Okay.
Right.
As I said, this is a work in progress. We all need to keep learning. No one can predict, as you saw in the previous slides, right? We are our own worst enemies. So I think having that process, having that due diligence will help you save in the longer term. Okay. Again, disclosures, as you saw, right? I'm not an expert, so please take care of yourself, do your diligence. And I've added a lot of resources now, Arvindji, so that will hopefully help you. So I added external tools so you can see what I look at, right? Right. And,
Okay.
right.
I did order the books from the library, the one that you mentioned in the books section.
Right. Yeah.
So
And there, and all the tools are listed here. Like, so for a given company, you don't need to go anywhere. You just click on it, it will take you to the website. So just make life a little bit easier on that side. Okay.
okay.
Again, all the old presentations can be seen here. This is my detail if you want to ping me, right? Okay, I'm gonna stop the screen share. Any questions before we go, Arvindji? Any questions?
No.